what else he said, if he said I'm potentially dangerous or they should have been able to tell he was potentially dangerous. But if that did happen, then that's a breakdown in the system, and that's what we want to know about.
We have other ones with other hospitals.
Well, then we would look at them, of course,
Governor,
because that's not how the system's supposed to work.
Thanks, guys.
On the plane that crashed, the military plane that took off from Stewart Air Force Base?
Nick, we're still trying to get all the facts. It's a plane that we know it's a plane that took off from Stewart Air Force Base, and it did crash. It had approximately 16 people on board. We believe they were Marine reserves, but we don't have any additional information than that at this time.
And Governor, aside from the Trump Jr. emails, your administration has said that they're not going to be cooperating with sending information to a voter fraud commission that the Trump administration has set up. Just broadly, is there any concern that voters should have about the integrity of the election last year, given concerns about Russian involvement?
Well, I think we're going to find that out in the weeks to come. You now have a number of investigations that are going on. There are almost a new allegation every week, right? But I hope the investigations are done well. I hope the FBI and justice investigations are done well. I hope the congressional investigations are done well, because these are troubling accusations, and people are going to want to know at the end of the day. When you talk about our election system, right, it is the bedrock of democracy. And I understand this society, there's a lot of change and there's a lot of disruption. But if you can't trust the electoral system, that's a real problem. So I hope the investigations do their job, and the American people deserve an answer one way or the other. But you need to know that the election system is safe and works and is fair. And that's what I hope the investigations get to.
Governor,
Thanks,
what's your
guys.
sense of how day 2 of the Summer of Hell went today in the city? Any reports, any feel?
The reports are all good, Glenn. We called, for those of you who don't follow it because you're upstate, the Amtrak owns Penn Station. Penn Station closed a number of tracks, and that then disrupted the Long Island Railroad, because the Long Island Railroad goes into Penn Station, and if the tracks were closed, then the Long Island Railroad was obviously disrupted. We spent months preparing for this. I called it the Summer of Hell because it very well could have been. You reduce the number of trains going into Penn Station, you could back up all of Long Island, you back up Long Island, you back up the commute for everyone going into New York City. So we took extraordinary measures. 50% toll discount at night to get the trucks to incentivize trucks to do deliveries at night. 25% reduction for Long Island Fair riders to go to alternative destinations. We expedited all the construction, so all the lanes are open on all the bridges and tunnels. We expedited the cashless tolling system. So now it's all Easy Pass in New York City, or it reads your license plate. And we removed all the toll barriers, like overnight, to accelerate traffic. So we took extraordinary measures. And the good news is, I think the team did a very good job, because there have been no reports thus far of any tremendous backup. But, and the but is, this is not sustainable for us. This is very, very expensive. And this is an extraordinary effort. I did this the way we would do an emergency or a hurricane or a flood. This was a multi-agency effort, and we have all sorts of agencies deploying all sorts of person power. We can't do this long term. Just in terms of cost, we can't do this long term. And I believe Penn Station and Amtrak are a chronic problem, and that has to be solved. Amtrak says this is going to go on for 2 months. My bet is it's going to be longer. And my bet is this is a continuing saga, because I don't think Amtrak, with all due respect to the federal government, is in the best position to operate Penn Station. I think they should get a private operator to do the actual operation, or give it to the Port Authority and let the Port Authority run it of New York and New Jersey, or make it part of the Gateway Tunnel project. But long term, I think it is problematic for Amtrak and Penn to continue to operate those tracks. And again, we can't do this long term. I'm very pleased and proud that so far so good. It's only day 2, but so far so good. But when you look at what we're doing, we chartered express buses, we chartered ferries. I said yesterday, the only thing we didn't do is offer to parachute people into Manhattan. But besides that, these are all extraordinary measures.
Governor,
Thanks,
you don't
guys.
see your
Do we
speech
know if
about.
there are were any New Yorkers on board that plane?
We don't know.
Governor, there's been a bunch of
I don't know.
Governor, there's been a few stories in the past week about the possibility of you running for president in 2020. What do you make of those? Is it fiction, nonfiction, any basis in truth there?
That's what they do in politics. They speculate. I'm running for re-election as governor of the state of New York, and that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I wake up thinking about, and that's my focus.
Well, does it help you or hurt you that these people are starting to write these stories about you running?
I don't know. You would know better than I.
You spoke in your speech about how New York is moving forward with infrastructure. So what lessons would you give to Washington? Is this something that you could advise President Trump on? How could they be moving forward the way you're moving forward?
Look, it's public-private sector partnership is right. Design, build, construction is right. Regional planning is right. And then step 4, do it. You have to do it. This is bricks and mortar. This is construction. Talking doesn't work. Planning doesn't work. Press releases don't work. You have to actually do it.
Do you think that Trump, because he is a builder, are you surprised he hasn't been able to do it?
He is a builder, and that lended credibility to the thought that he would do a $1 trillion plan. But you have to be a builder who then gets it done through the governmental process, right? And I think that's where he's having trouble. They've even gone backwards on the existing commitments on infrastructure, which is the Gateway Tunnel. And the Gateway Tunnel is the critical infrastructure project. It is the tunnel that goes from New Jersey to New York. It is the main corridor for rail in the Northeast Corridor. The tunnel is in desperate need of repair. Hurricane Sandy damaged it. If you said it's a go today, I'll bet you it would take 10 years to get done anyway with the environmental reviews and everything that has to be done. So that they are pulling back on Gateway Tunnel, that is a real problem. All right,
Thanks,
guys,
guys.
I'm
Thank
going to
you.
work. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.